Welcome, 8th graders. You are on day 2 of the VEXcode VR Part 2 and Part 3 Design Notebook. And so for your activities for today, you're going to first explore different sensors that will be used, and you're going to label what those are. And then after that, you're going to start a new VEXcode program, and we're going to look at the weight control statement. And so we're going to figure out what does that do, how does it change the programming, and then there's a couple questions to respond to as you're doing that. So as we look at your design notebook, you all should scroll down until you says start day number 2. And once you're here, it's going to be going through the checklist on the right-hand side. But before we do that, I'm going to read the left-hand side here. It says, robots are similar to humans if you consider they both sense and react to the world. Humans use their senses to see, hear, smell, taste, and touch. Similarly, robots use sensors to sense the world around them and react with an action, such as stopping, turning a light on, or beeping. Sensors are input devices that provide robots information such as the distance to an object, the amount of light around the robot, the color the robot detects, or whether the robot has bumped into an object. In this activity today, you will learn how to make the robot use the bumper sensors to sense when it bumps into an object and then react to that input with some output, such as stopping or changing direction. But before we work with the bumper sensors, let's explore the weight block to learn more about how to control the behavior of a robot by pausing it or waiting. It is important to understand the wait command when working with sensors. So for the first part of today, before we get to the VEXcode VR website, you have a couple photos here, and they're pointing at different sensors on this device. And you're going to click on this link right at the top here, and it says explore the different sensors on the VEX robot. So when you click on that, you'll see it has the same picture, but now it's labeling it. So at the top, this is the pen. The front side here is the electromagnet, and then you can see the other sensors, and then going down, you can see the other diagram with the labels. So you go back to your design notebook, and you can see then the same photos, but you now need to label what they are. So you can jump back and forth between the tabs here. Item number 1 was, well, back up to number 1, it was pen. So you would go down to item number 1, there's 8 of them here, and you would type in whatever its label is. So here you would type in pen, and then go back and forth to label the rest of them. So that's part 1 of today. Next, you're going to test out the weight block, and this is going to be in VEXcode VR. So you can see the first thing that you need to do right here is click on that link, open it up, and we're going to be working out of VEXcode VR. And go back here, you're just going to keep going back and forth, and as I go through this, if I'm going quickly and you need to pause the video to see the step and do it yourself, of course you should do that and work at your own pace. But reading the next step, then it says from the drivetrain category, add the drive forward block to the when started block. So the when started block is always the top one there, and it said add the drive forward block. I just did that, and so I can check off that that is completed. And then I need to test it in the grid map playground. So when you go up to the playground here, and in the top it says grid map, you need to click on grid map. And I'm not going to play it for you. I want you to look at that on your own, and then based on what happens, you need to answer the next 2 questions. So you'll notice on the right hand side there's a pencil icon there and there. That's indicating, actually there's 3 of them, that's indicating you have to answer these questions. So based on this code that we just typed in of drive forward, what does the robot do? Type in your answer here. Remember to use complete sentence. And then the next question is, how far did the robot go? Again, type in your answer here. And then the third question here, what do you think the weight block does? So we're going to add in the command, and that's going to be the next step here. So if we go to our tab here, it says add the wait 1 second block, and that's under control. So on the left hand side I see control. I'm going to click on wait 1 second, and before I test it out, it's asking you to predict what do you think it will do. And then add stop driving. So I'm going to go back to my drivetrain, and I see stop driving right here. I can add it here. And going back and forth to my design notebook, it says test your code again using the grid map playground. So I'm not going to do that. I want you to be able to see it on your own and enter it in on your own. So if you need to pause the video, go ahead and do that and check out the playground and then answer the questions. How far did the robot go? What would you change if you wanted the robot to drive 10 times the distance? And then we'll continue going down this checklist. So from the drivetrain category, add the turn right block. So continuing on, it said to add the turn right block. So we're going to add to what we already have here. And so under the drivetrain category, I see turn right. I'm going to go back and see what the next step is. It says it does not specify the angle, but I am going to test it in Art Canvas. So go back to Playground, type in Art Canvas, wait for it to load, and then you can hit play. I want you to do that on your own. And once you hit play, you have a couple questions to answer back here. How much does the robot, or what does the robot do, and how much does it turn? Type in your answer here. And we're going to continue following this checklist. So it says add a wait 1 second block and add the stop driving block. So I'm going to do both of those right now. Control, wait 1 second. And I'm going to go back and hit the stop driving. So your code and programming should look just like this at this point. And then it says test your code again using the Art Canvas playground. Name your project. So again, to name it, you're going to go up to the top part here, naming it drive with wait, and then your initials here, and save it to your device. And then the question next is, how far did the robot go after the last modification? Type in your answer there. And what would you change if you wanted your robot to turn at twice the angle? And so once you're done with that, you just need to do your daily summary here at the bottom of day number 2. What did you learn? What did you complete? And that'll be it for day number 2.